Suck me silly and call me a plaid shirt. We have some more interview information to cover in today's video. Now, this is from an interview that TFW 2005 conducted about two and a half years ago between them and Evan over at the Hasbro Transformers design team. Now, this is a little bit of an old interview, but it still gives us some interesting insight to future releases, especially nowadays, now that we have an extra 2 years of information in hindsight. We know more now than ever what's the deal with some of these characters, and we could kind of eyeball when some of these characters are releasing that are name dropped here in this interview. So without further ado, with that said, let's get right down to the first question and answer, shall we, people? So TFW asked here, Polar Claw appeared in a piece of early Kingdom artwork, but obviously he never materialized. Is there any chance he could be revived? BW fans would love to see him. And Evan responded to this saying, yeah, it's possible. It was something John Warden had planned, but when team transitions happened, it was decided release-wise that it makes more sense to do a Voyager-class Tigatron than Polar Claw at that scale. Yeah, this completely makes sense. Not surprised John Warden preferred doing a Polar Claw to a Tigatron at the time. He did make some random decisions. No knock to John Warden. He was still a pretty good designer, but you know, in terms of character selections, he was random at times. Like, if you got a certain character, it was obvious we were getting another character that year, but Hasbro pivoted and gives us a completely different character. That was stuff that happened so frequently at that time. So I'm not surprised by that information. And it does make sense that they ultimately did go with a Voyager Tigatron, because why the hell would you do all these cartoon characters and then out of nowhere you do a new mold toy/comic only character that didn't appear in any of the shows? Like, that just makes no sense. And you know, ultimately they made the right decision in the end with the Kingdom toy line between Tigatron and Polar Claw. But that time has passed. That's over 5 years ago now, man. Half a decade of time has gone by since that happened. So, you know, us Transformers fans, and especially Beast Wars fans, myself included, we're just sitting ducks here the last 5 years. We're waiting on our Polar Claw. Y'all teased them in that poster maybe even almost 6 years ago, because I think that poster came out in like summer of 2020 when Kingdom first got confirmed by Hasbro. But anyway, you know, 5-6 years that poster has been out, that Hasbro released, and we're waiting on a Polar Claw, bro. Now, in more recent interviews, the last year or so that I've covered here, Instagram DM question and answers that I cover here on the channel, Polar Claw gets brought up semi-frequently, and the answer is always yes, we're planning to do him at some point. If I had to guess, if we're not seeing him this year as like some random exclusive for the 30th anniversary of Beast Wars, which, by the way, Hasbro, that would be a great idea for y'all to do, but I highly doubt that's happening at this point, because we probably would have heard about that by now. If we're not getting it this year for the 30th anniversary, I'm thinking maybe 2027, 2028 at the earliest, we could see a new Voyager or even a leader class Polar Claw, because you look at the size of the character and just the amount of features and engineering that would go into a modern day Polar Claw. I'm not confident in a Voyager class figure where he would be able to fit in all of his different gimmicks and a good robot mode and bear mode. So I'm thinking probably leader class for a modern Polar Claw, just to fit everything in there. I'm thinking 27 or 28 at the earliest, and maybe at the latest. Now, this is what I'm thinking personally. I'm just speculating here. I don't know for sure, but at the latest, the 35th anniversary of Beast Wars, we could see a new Polar Claw, which, I mean, we have been waiting 5 years now. It's already been a pretty long time, but what's waiting another 5 years worth nowadays, you know? It's we gotta wait till 2031 for a new Polar Claw. Whatever, bro. We've already been waiting another 5 years. Why not wait 10 years? I'm kidding, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if they wait until the 35th anniversary to do a Polar Claw. He's pretty hyped up in the community at this point, and Hasbro's in it for the long haul. They're a corporation. They got to make money. They got to spread stuff out over the course of literal decades. So I don't know. It could be a year or two from now, could be 5 years from now until we get a new Polar Claw. But I definitely think it's coming relatively soon. I'm giving a time window here of in the next 5 years, we're going to see a brand new Polar Claw. And this next question here, so TFW asked, how about the unmade fossilizers? And Evan responded to the saying, entirely possible, never really part of the plan. We let the poster artists do the designs and they created them. So that's interesting. I don't remember hearing this, but yeah, he says here that the fossilizers that was on that Kingdom poster were never made for figures. That's interesting because if I remember correctly, there was like an alligator. There was like 2 or 3 unmade fossilizers on that poster, if I'm remembering that correctly. So that would be interesting to get a crocodile fossilizer. Don't get me wrong, and maybe they could retool it into like the Croc version of Beast Wars Megatron. That would be kind of badass. Not gonna lie. I could see that happening, weaponizers, fossilizers, rock lords, whatever you want to call them. They've been pretty popular the last 6-7 years since they've been doing them in generations. So I could easily see this for maybe next year or 2029, whatever year coming up here, they bring back fossilizers as an idea and they finally give us those scrapped versions, or in this case here, from what Evan's saying, ones that were literally just drummed up by Hasbro artists and weren't even in the plans, giving us that alligator or crocodile fossilizer and some other ones that were canceled over the years, not even just for fossilizers, but for weaponizers and rock lords too, and, Junkion characters. There's a lot they could tap into now with that weaponizer sort of gimmick and figures that they've been doing. So I'm actually relatively excited for the future of new weaponizers and fossilizers and stuff like that, because I think it does bring a very fun and unique experience into modern Transformers in an era of the franchise where that has severely been lacking for the last 10 years or so. So yeah, bring on more fossilizers. Why not? And the last question and answer I want to cover here in this video, are you interested in doing more toy-only characters in general? And Evan responded to this saying, we get asked about making new characters, but there are also a lot of legacy characters to work through. But we would like to bring in more newness. So it seems like Evan's answer here kind of evolved into us getting straight up new characters that have never appeared in any media, and TFW was asking about like toy-only characters from the movies or Beast Wars. There's always characters that only appeared in toy form that were never in a movie or a cartoon. So I think that's obviously on the cards, and they have been slowly but surely doing some characters like that a year. It's mostly repaints and retools nowadays and not, brand new unique molds from characters like that from back in the day. But to be fair, a lot of those characters are just repaints and retools of reused molds from back then. So, we're slowly seeing those kind of characters, but I would love to see some new characters too that Evan brought up here. While simultaneously getting done the legacy characters that we've all been fiending for years now. That would be nice to see a new character here and there. I mean, we kind of have that with the Junkions, Fossilizers, and Weaponizers, but they haven't really done anything with those characters. They're really just cannon fodder, drone accessory figures, you know what I mean? So getting actual Transformers characters would be a fun way to go in the modern era. And, we have seen new characters in newer cartoons like Cyberverse and Earthspark that could use a new collector-based Generations figure at Deluxe and Voyager class and stuff. So they already have new characters the last few years they could work with. So it's all really just about when they're going to do those new characters. But yeah, guys, that does it for all the question and answers and interview questions I wanted to cover here in today's video. Let me know down below. How do y'all feel about all the answers that Hasbro gave here? All my social medias are linked down below. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my email, all that good stuff. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.